What's up, Buttercups? It's me, Amy Young. I'm coming at you with a Friday freestyle and just a tidbit nugget of something to offer any woman out there who is aware that she is caught in a super foobarred romantic situation. And despite her best efforts at this particular point in time, you just can't quit it. Like, you know you shouldn't be doing this. You know you need to let it go. You know that this isn't working anymore. But that knowledge isn't enough just yet. Knowledge is not always enough. There's this idea that people have that, like, well, once you know better, just do better. I guess by people I mean Maya Angelou, because that's a very famous Maya Angelou quote. Love her. I love her. I love everything that she says. But that is a big ask when you're in love with a toxic person. If it was as simple as knowing better and doing better, then the world would be a very, very, very different place. But because it's not, we need other things to do until we can automatically do better. Because if you're in that space of like, I can't quit this person, I know better, but I can't do better yet, but I want to move in the direction of doing better and doing better for myself and having a better relationship than this shit show, then I'm going to give you your step one, okay? I'm going to give you your beautiful step one and you're going to love it. Because it's going to be pretty simple, because it's all about you. Because like most relationship shit shows, the work is not going to be in the other person with the other person. The work is going to be with this person. With that person in the mirror, sweetheart. That's the person that you got to deal with, because she's the one with the problem. Okay? It doesn't matter what he's doing. It doesn't matter why he is the way that he is. It doesn't matter. Like, very often when I'm working with women who are trying to snap out of toxic relationships, when we're first working together, they're like telling me all of this crazy fucked up stuff that this guy is doing, and like, this is so messed up and I can't believe him and he's such like a trash bag, and why the fuck does he keep doing that? Why is he jerking me around this way? And I always have to pause him and go, yeah, and you're telling me that you're like still in love with this person, or you're still paying attention to this person, or we're still talking about this person. So clearly it's not about them, it's about you. And when you're in that place, the only thing that you can do, here it is, you ready for it, is be radically and brutally honest with yourself. Radically and brutally honest. Meaning you stop making excuses for everybody's behavior in the equation. You stop telling yourself the story, because there's always some story that we've convinced ourselves of, right? Like the sneaky narrative that we tell ourselves that like we have some special connection, or there really could be a world in which this could work, or you don't understand why this can't be different than how it is, because it's like he really is a good person even though he like does all this fucked up shit. We have to, like, you're like a fly on sticky tacky paper with that story, right? Of like, it could be different, it could be better, or that's why I'm in it, is because I think I could fix it, or I think I could change him, or I think I could make it better, and you know, or vice versa, like maybe they can help me with something, or like there's a world where this could work. There is no world where this could work. You have to like seriously pry yourself away from that story, and you have to get really radically and brutally honest with yourself. And what that usually looks like is, number one, admitting that you don't know what the fuck is going on. Admit that you don't understand why they do what they do, and why you do what you do, and why you still have these feelings for them. It's getting so still and quiet and small and curious about how you really, really feel, and just naming it and admitting that for better, for worse, for whatever fucking reason, you don't seem to be able to snap yourself out of this just yet. This happens all the time where people, it's like, we feel like we have to make a really good excuse for our bad behavior. Like, we have to justify it for ourselves. We have to tell some type of story so that this makes sense. What I see actually work much better is when you stop making excuses, when you stop trying to tell a story so that it makes sense, and you just admit to yourself, this doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense, and I don't know why I'm doing this, and I don't know why I keep going back to this person. And I don't want to keep going back to this person, and yet there is a part of me that also wants to. I'm caught in this space of not wanting to, but also wanting to. How confusing and conflicting is that? And you're honest with yourself about when you reach out to them. You don't make up some excuse about, well, I just called him because he had mentioned, that he was going to be going out of town, and I thought maybe he needed someone to watch his dog. So I just called him to see, maybe he'd want me to watch the dog. No, you called him because you are addicted to something here, and because you needed some hit from the relationship, because you wanted to have something. You wanted to keep the connection burning or alive. You stop lying to yourself about it. This is the hardest thing for people to do, because the only way that we can stay in a relationship like that is if we do have a very compelling lie that we tell ourselves, that it will get better, that it can get better, that we can fix it, that you can love someone enough, that they stop being an asshole. I'm yet to see any of those things be true. What I do tend to see is that there's a lot of confusion and hurt feelings that's not getting acknowledged or recognized, or there's a sense of really severe shame and feeling incredibly lost and scared. And that's what people don't want to acknowledge. So they cover it up, right, with this toxic connection, with this toxic person. And we use that as this shield that we just get to focus all of our time and energy and efforts into, so we don't have to feel what's really going on. And you have to start feeling what's really going on. And you have to start being brave enough to be honest with yourself about it and admit it to yourself. Admit that you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Admit that this is a hot mess and you hate it, but you also love it. Admit that if you could snap your fingers and make this person propose to you tomorrow, maybe you would, and that is crazy because you know how toxic this person is. Admit to yourself that you're a little bit nuts for wanting to be with them, and yet you can't help yourself. Stop lying to yourself about it. It's okay. I think it's so important. I need to talk about toxic relationships more, because there's so much shame and stigma around it, and it's totally okay if you're in a toxic relationship right now. I don't want you to be there, and I care very much for your safety, but I don't want you to be beating yourself up so much for it, or feeling like something is so fucked up and wrong and flawed about you that you fell in love with the wrong person, or you let yourself get sucked into this confusing thing. Love is confusing. Most people suck at it. You just happen to get yourself into a little bit of a messier situation than you can get yourself out of, and that's okay. But just be honest with yourself about that. Just admit to yourself, I got myself into this messy situation. I ignored some red flags at the beginning. This dynamic is familiar to me in some way because it reminds me of XYZ, and I guess that's what I, found attractive or appealing about it, and now I can't seem to extricate myself from it. What a hot mess I found myself in. Telling ourselves the truth is this delicious medicine. Tastes really bad at first, but it learns to be delicious because you stop feeling like you have to front or make excuses or admit more than you know right now. If you knew how to fix this, if you knew how to extricate yourself from it, if you knew how to cure it, you would. The fact that you don't is okay, but you don't want to pretend anymore, right? You don't want to lie to yourself about it. So start practicing radical honesty. Just tell yourself the truth. Just admit what you don't know. Admit how confused you are, how hurt you are, how sad you are. Don't lie to yourself about it. Don't be defensive about it. It's okay. It's okay. I've been in fucked up situations before too. Most people I know have found themselves in a fucked up, quasi or completely toxic situation at some time or another. It's all right. You're in good company. Just don't lie to yourself about it. That's my spiel for today. My heart is with you if you find yourself in that situation right now, and I get it, and I know that you will find your way out. If you liked this video and you want to subscribe to my channel, you can go ahead and do that. You know how YouTube works. Hit the subscribe button. If you want to be on my email list, you can hit the link in the description box at amyyoungcoaching.com. I'd love to keep up with you that way. Otherwise, I hope you're having a great day, night, weekend, wherever you are. And until next time, I'll see ya.